Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Good to see all you guys, and I'm dropping my kids' toys all over my desk. Oh my god. All right. Anyways, this morning's gonna be a little rough. All right. My wife, if you guys didn't know, she's been diagnosed with MS the last 3 weeks ago, I believe. So she's been going through some medical stuff, right? So I got the kids this morning. I had no time to prepare, so we're going to be watching some altcoin daily stuff, and we're going to be watching what's it called, some stuff from crypto world. So it's not going to be too crazy, but yeah, I got like kid shit everywhere. I had them hanging out on the couch behind me. It's a freaking mess right now. All right, but anyways, let's get into this. Good to see all you guys. Miss Sadie, sometimes good to see you. Let's see who's in the chat. Fudweiser, we have Nerd Beast, the pirate, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. You're awesome. Appreciate you, buddy. We have Overboard Tech in the house. Kyle Rosa, Sloth Squatch. Let's see. Chris Hanley. Good to see you, buddy. Dan R. Dom G. Andrew Masad. Good to see you. Leo Lustig. And Steven Cicero, my man. Cape Cod Crypto. You as well. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But guys, I am all over the place this morning. Let's get into this. All right. Let's see what the market's looking like, and then we'll go from there. All right. We got Bitcoin 26,144. Ethereum 1609. Not too bad. Let's see. Everything's green today. Crazy, but I guess everything was red yesterday, so is what it is. Dogecoin, we have 6 cents. We have LTC at 60 bucks. This is not under 60 bucks. That was pretty terrible yesterday. And XRP 47 cents. Let's see what we got on crypto bubbles. All right, on the week, Caspa's actually looking pretty good on the week. Actually, I just saw this. Caspa 23.6% on the week is up. Geez, roll Bitcoin. Look at this. Let's see on the day. What are we looking on the day? Oh, everything's up on the day. All right. Render 9.3%. Holy shit. That thing pumped. It was at $1.40 something, I think, yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, maybe $1.33. Something like that. But anyways, it's at 156 today. Caspa's up 7.7% today. What happened with Caspa? It's over 4 cents. Wow. Exciting. Exciting. All right. I haven't even had to enjoy my first cup of coffee yet. This is brutal. All right. Oh, blinded you guys. God damn it. I apologize. Fear and Greed Index. Let's see. We're at 30 today. Look at this. Actually at Fear. Holy shit. This is the first time we've seen it actually red. Look at that. If you guys have any questions, obviously, feel free to ask in the chat. This is, again, just an AMA, and we go over a bunch of stuff and just watch other people's channels all day. So that's what we do here. Let's see. Top 10 coins by coin market cap. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP, Lotto Staked Ether, Dogecoin, Cardano, and Solana. Wasn't Cardano in 8th place yesterday? Or is it me? Did those two flip? Oh yeah, they're pretty close actually. Let's see. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah, actually they must have just flipped. Interesting. That's pretty neat. All right, Litecoin still in 15th place, but other than that, we're looking pretty good. All right, let's get into this, guys. Again, I apologize for the messy stream this morning, but this is Crypto Worlds. This is CNBC television. They have a bunch of stuff about just honestly, it's kind of, I'm gonna skip the end of this. I'm not gonna watch the end because it's kind of just, I don't know, I don't think it's really worth listening to be honest. But they talk about Coinbase being committed to India and just some other stuff like Vitalik Buterin being hacked and stuff. We kind of talked about that yesterday. So without further ado, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Let's do it.
Today, major cryptocurrencies started the week in the red. Coinbase responds to reports that it could be ceasing services in India. And one of the authors of S&P Global's new research on stablecoins breaks down those findings.
We're not going to listen to her, but whatever.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Kate Rooney. Crypto prices are down to kick off the week as of noon Eastern. Bitcoin dropped more than 2.5%, trading just above $25,000. Ether fell more than 3.5%, dropping below the $1,600 mark. And Ripple's native token, XRP, sank 6% as the SEC countered the firm in an effort to appeal the groundbreaking XRP decision.
Real quick, this was as of yesterday, obviously, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday,
where a judge ruled that the token is not a security in some cases. Okay, let's talk about some of the top stories. The X account of Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin was reportedly hacked. That breach reportedly led to people clicking on a malicious phishing link and caused losses of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That sucks.
CoinDesk reported that over the weekend, $691,000 had been drained from victim wallets, with the
Jesus, net worth 520,000. Why are they saying 691? Oh, that's the update. So this is what. Oh, so they must have snapshotted this when it was only $520,000. That's I mean, I say only. That's friggin' $500,000.
Vast majority of that value being in the form of NFTs. On Saturday, Buterin's father, Dmitry, announced on X that his son's account had been compromised. The post with the malicious link has since been deleted from Buterin's X account. The Ethereum co-founder has 4.9 million followers on the platform.
Bro, he looks like an alien.
Next, G20 leaders are moving forward with their global crypto framework. That's according to a local report that said on Saturday the G20 member nations meeting in India endorsed the Financial Stability Board's recommendations on regulation and oversight of crypto assets to mitigate some of the risks associated with them. Several countries, including Australia, Brazil, Canada, the UK, US, and EU would be among some of the regions impacted by that framework. The Crypto Asset Reporting Framework was first introduced last October by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and was designed to offer the automatic exchange of tax-relevant information on cryptocurrencies. G20 finance ministers and central bank governors will reportedly discuss the advancement of the framework at a meeting in October. Last, a Coinbase spokesperson clarified that while its exchange remains inactive in India, the crypto firm's wallet and tech hub remains active. This comes after confusion surfaced about the company's India operations after it had sent emails to some customers asking them to withdraw funds by September 25th. A person familiar with the situation told us Coinbase is not ceasing services in India, and that an email was sent to some account holders last Friday, noting that the email does not pertain to India or Indian operations, rather it relates to Indian customers using the platform in other jurisdictions. In a statement regarding Coinbase's India operations, a spokesperson said that the firm stopped allowing new user signups on the exchange in India back in June, but still offers live products, including its Coinbase wallet. The spokesperson added that Coinbase is, quote, committed to India over the long term and continues to explore ways to strengthen its presence in the market.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to stop this. Like I said, I'm not going to listen to this lady talk. It's just, I don't know. I honestly, I was listening to it and I was like falling asleep. So I'm like, if I'm falling asleep, you guys are definitely going to fall asleep. This is terrible. All right, let's listen to Altcoin Daily. This was actually a pretty lengthy interview with Mark Yusko, or Yusko, however you're supposed to say his name. Or however you pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, I value this guy's opinion. I think he's pretty educated in the space, and it seems like he knows what he's talking about most of the time. So I want to hear what he has to say over here. Minesome10, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Actually, you know what? I was gonna reach out to you. When I was watching your live stream the other day, you were talking about Nexa a little bit, and you wanted to ask them some questions. One of the Nexa team members emailed me 2 days ago, like the day, but well, yeah, it was like, I think your live stream was 2 days ago, so maybe it was 3 days ago, but it was like the day before you said that. They reached out and they want to do like an interview. So if you want to get together with me and do something with them, I'm totally down for you to ask them whatever the hell you want to ask them on my channel. I don't care, or on yours or whatever. I could set it up. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. But just shoot me a DM and we'll figure it out. And yes, this is espresso coffee. It's what is it? Coffee Bustelo. Someone said espresso, not coffee from now on. Yeah, it's very delicious though. All right, let's get into this. We have again Altcoin Daily, the real reason Bitcoin is going down, with Mark Yusko. So let's see, or Yusko. Let's do it.
Something's wrong, and I can't put my finger on it. There's somebody or some buddies who are selling. Just keep accumulating ownership of the most important networks the world has ever seen.
Today I interview American investor Mark Yusko, who gives his outlook for the cryptocurrency market into 2024. We talk BlackRock and Bitcoin. We talk, is Binance safe? We talk Solana. And before all that, Mark, what's your take on the crypto market today?
You know, I was actually kind of afraid of this question because it's been a very strange summer, right? You know, if you follow my cycle logic, which I've been talking about for a while, you know, we transitioned from crypto spring to crypto summer on June 15th. And, you know, many people, when they hear crypto summer, are like, oh, good, that's the big up. Well, actually, no, that's crypto fall. So crypto fall, that period kind of right after the halving, is when you get the really big parabolic moves. Crypto summer is kind of a funky period. It's generally upward trending, although very slight. And in fact, a couple of the cycles have been pretty flat-ish. They're still generally up. And I have been positive in the sense that, or I've been positively inclined. We've been making higher highs and higher lows. So again, the trend is generally up, but this latest move down in Bitcoin sub 26 is starting to get close to that previous low, which, look, if we break that, then the trend changes, and I don't like that. So to your point, things are looking depressed, other than hash rate still really strong. Transaction volumes are okay, but the buzz is definitely down. You know, you don't hear people talking as much about it. Maybe that's just the revamp of Twitter. I'm not going to call it X, by the way.
Well, real quick, when there's things, when people aren't talking about things, that's usually when like the big guys are investing. And I feel like personally, that's why the market is not just tanking right now, or, you know, super low right now. I feel like as soon as things are sold, the big guys are just buying it up in the background, getting ready for the Bitcoin ETFs and all that stuff. But let me know what you guys think. And if you guys have questions, we can always pause this and talk about whatever in between. So let me know.
And, you know, engagement's down everywhere and people aren't really going there as much. I find myself spending more time on LinkedIn, actually, which is interesting. So that's a long rambling answer to say summertime is normally, actual physical summer is normally a time of lower volatility and lower volumes because, you know, people are out. And I think that was true again this year. Now, the difference between traditional markets and digital asset markets, regular markets, when people are away, things just shut down because, you know, the markets are closed more hours than they're open. In the digital world, people can trade anywhere. So in theory, even if you're on vacation, you got your phone with you, you can still be active. But I just feel like there was a lull. And yet we've had some meaningful positive announcements. I think we'll talk about some of them. But generally, this is a meandering time kind of approaching the halving next spring.
You know, this guy kind of reminds me of Max Voltage. He just kind of like, he makes sense with almost everything he says. And he just like, you can just tell he's got wisdom, right?
To me, because crypto is such a nascent space, it can be affected by so many outside factors that are so much bigger. So whether that's Fed tightening or global liquidity or the housing market fears, like what do you think is the biggest factor that's sort of bringing crypto down?
So great question. I mean, really important question. I think I would probably lean toward liquidity.
I mean, it could definitely just be the gray hair, but I was you know, going on a positive note.
You know, liquidity drives
just kidding,
markets.
Max.
And I've said that for forever, and it's really true. And particularly in digital space, particularly, you know, take something like Bitcoin, right? One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin, always will. And it eventually, we all hope, becomes a unit of account the way we think about value. But that's not what people talk about, right? They talk about Bitcoin in something else, in dollars, usually. That's the number most of us talk about. But if you're in Argentina, you're talking about it in pesos. And that's, you know, making new highs lately because the peso's in the toilet. If you're in Argentina, you're talking about it in bolivars, or in Turkey, you're talking about it in lira, all of which are down. You know, those are down. So Bitcoin in those currencies is up. But the rate of change of dollar growth has slowed. And therefore, you know, you think about it, right before the pandemic, you know, we were in that $14,000, $15,000 range. They doubled the money supply, so we should be kind of in the 28-ish range. And we're kind of in the 26 range, so it's kind of where we should be if we think about it in Bitcoin per dollar. So in the absence of a lot of monetary stimulus, there's not a lot of translation change that's going to happen. So I think that's certainly part of it, and that leads to some malaise. Most of the stimulus in the economy is shifted to fiscal, right? Government still spending like drunken sailor. Actually, I'm not sure a drunken sailor could spend nearly as well as our government. But they pumped $1 trillion into the economy to kind of give us this boost that we thought. Yet, if you ask people how they're feeling.
All right, sorry, I'm pausing this in the chat. So somebody just said, actually, someone said this earlier too, and I read it and forgot to mention it. Lookout New said, beware of scammers offering KS3Ls to KS3M upgrades. What do you mean? What are they doing? If somebody can send a link in the chat, any one of my mods, just drop a link and I'll open it up to see what scam you're talking about, because I haven't heard of it or seen it.
About the economy, people aren't jumping up and down, right? Everybody knows somebody who lost their job or got laid off. Spending, while other than Taylor Swift tickets, spending is kind of muted. I mean, it's not rambunctious. So I think macro is medium and maybe even leaning toward downward, as people think of, I retweeted something today. I'm still gonna call them tweets too. I'm not sure what else we would call them, but
reposts.
Reposts. Oh, it's a repost. Oh,
the most generic name ever.
Yeah. All right. Well, X post. Yeah. Repost. All right. But so I retweeted something that basically said bankruptcies were soaring. And like, is bankruptcy a synonym for strength? Ha ha. I mean, if bankruptcies are hitting all-time highs, that's usually not a really good thing. There's bank challenges, traditional banking challenges with the losses in their fixed income books. Fixed income markets are on pace to have their second negative year, which I think would be the first time in history of 2 back-to-back negative years in fixed income. So that's troubling a little bit. So it's just a very interesting time to be an investor. That's for sure.
When I look back the last few months, in retrospect, to me, it seems, again, in retrospect, why Bitcoin sort of had a local top when it did, only because we had so much euphoric news all at one time. BlackRock ETF application, Ripple winning against the SEC, huge. It's been a 2-year case. And then it was sort of a buy the rumor, sell the news. Markets depressed after that. Do you think that's just part of a natural market cycle, or was there any hidden agenda like BlackRock probably bought 6 months earlier, or insiders, and then we've just went down since those announcements?
That's a good point. We actually have seen a lot of kind of crazy news the last couple of months, and it's almost surprising that Bitcoin's taking such a drop down versus having a spike up. Wouldn't you guys think it would be just like rocketing from this point? Well, not rocketing, but just in general be up closer to the 30K mark, or at least hovered or stayed at 30K. But again, I think these big guys are just pushing it down to accumulate more. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, great question. And actually, question Pop and I were talking about yesterday. We did our weekly chat yesterday instead of Monday because of the holiday, and asked that exact question, which is something's wrong, and I can't put my finger on it. And do you think it's something going on with Binance or Binance, depending on which part of the world you're from? Do you think it's some big person unloading? To your point about insiders buying and insider selling, if your goal is to accumulate an asset, you actually don't go out and buy the asset and tell everybody you're buying. What the really smart investors have done over the years is they actually go out and short a little bit of the asset and then tell everybody how crappy the asset is in interviews and stuff, and then go buy it when the price goes down. So again, if you were somebody who was on the verge of being approved for an ETF and you were going to take massive share and you wanted to buy the asset cheap, and maybe you even wanted to put some of your own money in there too, you might be contributing to downward pressure in the short run. So yeah, I think there definitely could be a little bit of that. And so I would say it probably wasn't BlackRock or others buying that was pushing it up. It was, people looking at the FTX now being in the rearview mirror, and people getting back to fundamentals and saying, all the selling that was going to happen happened, and all of the liquidation and some leverage happened, when they kind of put Binance in the corner. So I still think BlackRock's going to be the first one approved. When that's another question we can probably talk about. But
what do you guys think in the chat? BlackRock going to be the first one to approve, or are they going to approve all of them at the same time? Real quick, I want to show this. So Leo Lustig, thank you very much for putting this in the chat. Ice River says, important news, beware of scammers offering KS3L to KS3M upgrades. We want to protect our customers from falling victim to fraudulent activities. Please be aware that we do not provide firmware upgrades to transform KS3L miners to the KS3M miners. So, my thoughts on this. I want to stress something real quick. Like, we can't say it's a scam unless you know it's a scam, right? So, do they have any proof that this is actually a scam, or did somebody figure out how to create this machine, or transform this machine into a KS3M from a KS3L, and they're pissed off because they don't want people to benefit from it? That's kind of what I would want to know in this whole situation. Anyone claiming to offer such upgrades is not official. Additionally, we strongly advise against using third-party firmware or control boards that promise increased hash rates. Any damage caused by upgrading to a third-party firmware or using third-party control boards will be the responsibility of the customer, and this behavior will affect the warranty of the machine. What's the warranty on the thing anyways? The fucking miner. What are they gonna, they warranty it for like 90 days or something? How long is it warranted for? Does anybody know? Your trust and security are paramount to us. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to our official customer support channels for assistance. Stay safe and stay protected. So like, the only, again, what I'm thinking is like, is it legit? Is it fake? Or is it they're just mad about it? Because I mean, guys, let's be real. We thought that Ice River in general was fake from the beginning. So they ended up being legit. Just saying. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it, but you guys let me know what you think in the chat. All right, let's continue with this.
But I still think they're going to be the first one approved. And I still think somewhere, and this is the part that I'm struggling with, there's somebody or some buddies who are selling. And one of the challenges of Bitcoin in particular is it's pretty closely held, right? Not that much of the total market cap actually changes hands on a day-to-day basis. So the free float, so to speak, is pretty low relative to the overall market cap. And so
just to recap, I don't condone anybody goes and does that to their machine. Please don't go do that to your machine unless you confirm that it is legit. If it's legit, apparently it's a scam. Just take it as a scam for now. Ignore it completely until some person on YouTube decides to try and make this work, or either brick their machine and hopefully they put the video out. But don't trust anything like that, just at least my opinion.
So the fact that somebody or somebody's are still selling, because again, for every buyer, there's a seller. I'm just not quite sure where that's coming from, because I would have thought most of the levered longs had already been liquidated, in margin calls a year ago.
In your opinion, how soon until we see a Bitcoin ETF? And let me also add, sooner than we all think, or farther than we all think?
Well, I think consensus is sometime next year before the halving. I think that's kind of consensus. There's a big day coming up in a month, October 16th and 17th, as I understand it. October 16th is the deadline to make a decision on Bitwise's, and October 17th is the day for BlackRock. As much as I would love for Bitwise to get approved, since we're investors in Bitwise, I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately, sadly, because I don't think it's a fair process, shall we say, even though it's supposed to be, and it's not supposed to be a kingmaker. But I think it would be optically too big a deal for them to say, no Bitwise, but yes, the next day. So my guess is they push them both, but then they're going to have the same problem in 3 months. So I at some point, they're going to have to take the heat. If after all these other people, the Winklevoss twins were first to apply, they just stopped applying because, they kept getting rejected. And you've had plenty of other people. Cathie Wood, in theory was first in line, then Bitwise, then BlackRock, and she already got dinged again. And again, we're investors in 21 shares, so we think we're investors in Moon, which is part of it, 21 shares. So I would have been happy with that one too, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to go with before consensus, because I don't think they'll wait all the way until next year. But I have no special insight on that. Larry didn't call me.
Yeah. Once a Bitcoin ETF does get approved, spot Bitcoin ETF, is that game over in a sense? Like, that's mass adoption for Bitcoin. What else is there?
It's certainly mass adoption. So for sure. So, and let's just do math. So Eric Balkunas had this great post. Look, the industry, the RIA industry, advisor industry controls about 30 trillion. And let's say 0.1%, buy an ETF, Bitcoin ETF. That's 30 billion. Well, 30 billion on 500 billion, that's not very much, but it's not 500 billion. Remember, it's probably 100-ish of the 500 that is the free float. So 30 on 100, that would move the price. Price would go up. But what if it's 1%? Forget 10 basis points. What if it's 1%? 300 on 100, then we get that parabolic spike we had in the last run where we went from 10 to 50. And that could definitely happen. Now, all of this is in relation to fair value. So fair value today, somewhere around 50K. That's based on the Metcalfe's law curve. We're below that, obviously. So we should accrete toward that fair value between now and the halving next year. The halving potentially doubles the fair value, because if the price doesn't rise, then the miners go out of business. That's probably not going to happen. So what has happened in history is fair value rises, price rises, and we get slow accretion to that. So now we're talking, could that, see a parabolic move from 25 to 100? Sure. And do you blow right through fair value and go to overvalue? Probably. What precipitates all of that? Adoption. And if 300 billion, which is only 1%, starts flowing in, now the converse of that is there's 20 billion in GBTC that if GBTC doesn't get approved, and let's say BlackRock does, is all of that 20 billion going to liquidate? Probably. I mean, probably if you're paying 2% and you can go pay, I don't even know what BlackRock's charging, but call it 50 basis points. Maybe it's less, but call it 50 basis points. Well, you're definitely selling GBTC and you're buying the ETF. So,
well, they already said something about having to drop their prices as soon as the ETFs are approved, if I'm not mistaken. We heard that in, I forget, it was like one of the videos we watched. I think it was an interview or an article maybe that we read that, they stated that they were going to have to drop the interest or whatever their charging amount when the ETFs are approved. But as of right now, they're just going to keep things how they were. But to be honest, I don't think only BlackRock will get approved. I think it'll do every ETF that has been applied for, because everything's going to fall under the same guidelines, and then, it'll just all rise together. It's not they're not just going to approve one unless the government really, I guess, so never mind. I'm not even going to say that. Just forget it.
If only 10 basis points comes in, we got 30 billion in, we got 20 billion going out. Oh my God, the price could actually stagnate or God forbid, go down in the short run, because people would freak out because there wasn't this big rally after the approval. I think that would be temporary, because even if all of GBTC liquidates, which it probably will, that's only 20 bills. Whereas I do think the adoption is going to be 1%, maybe even 2%. Now we're talking 300 to 600 billion. That's a big move up. So mass adoption for sure. How fast? That's another question.
Moving to altcoins, the SEC recently did something that they very rarely do. Filed a sealed motion, in this case against Binance. Usually the SEC is loud, public, they want to send a message. Is the other shoe about to drop for Binance?
It's a great question. I think it's a hard thing for the SEC to think that they have some jurisdictional oversight of a company where 90+% of their volumes are outside the United States. I just think that's really hard. That's a stretch. It'd be like me saying, people in Europe and Japan should listen to what I say because I'm an American. No, that it just doesn't make any sense. They can listen if they want, but there's no mandate. And if you're, registered in, where are they registered? In the UK and home based in Dubai or whatever it is, the SEC is not your regulator. Now, yeah, you got a subsidiary in the US, and could you shut that subsidiary down? Would that have an impact? Sure. But how much of their total trading volume is it? Not much, as I understand. Maybe it's bigger than, but I think the real impact is the psychological hit on altcoins, right? The problem for altcoins, as I see it, is the vast majority are literally gambling tokens. And that's not necessarily a slight. I mean, I will argue that the vast majority of publicly listed companies, when you start getting down in the small and micro caps, are gambling tokens. I mean, the difference is with a stock, you in theory have ownership of equity, you have a claim on cash flows. With most utility tokens, you don't. So Mark, it's a dumb statement. But for my point,
just referred to himself as the third person. Real quick, Fully Electric said CCXD, they can approve only companies with full KYC with shared asset tracking. Not all companies that applied for the ETF has that agreement yet. That's actually a very good point. That's a very good point, actually. I didn't think about other companies that possibly apply for an ETF that wouldn't be full KYC. Is there any companies that have actually applied for it that aren't full KYC? Let me know if you guys know of any. I thought they were all full KYC.
Gambling on AMC or GameStop is gambling. You're not buying it because you've done some discounted cash flow analysis and you think there's value. You're buying it because, and I want to see that movie so badly. It looks so good.
Definitely.
GameStop movie. I mean, it just looks,
What movie?
incredible. And
Ben Mesrick.
What movie? What movie are they talking about?
Awesome writer. Yeah.
Oh, well, Mesrick he is the best. I mean, he truly is one of the great writers of our time. And if people haven't read like Bitcoin Billionaires, you should just read it. I mean, it's just such a compelling read. Even if you like or dislike it, it doesn't matter. Just read the book because he's a great writer. And so this, and the casting was so good. I mean, so good. I mean, you can't help but root for the little guys in this movie. And they make Stevie and Gabe kind of non-sympathetic, which unfortunately in this situation, they kind of were. And I mean, just brilliant casting. So, although Stevie's probably not gonna be happy about it, but I don't know. I struggle with the fact that there's a whole group of people who are literally pinging their machine with, digital representations of dogs and cats and hamsters, et cetera, just because they hope somebody else pays them a few more, fractions of a penny. Like, it drives me crazy. Is it Shiba that's like 0.0000001 cent? It's like, that's just dumb. Just do whatever you have to do to get it to be $1. And so
that sounds good. $1 Shiba sounds really good.
And, but I guess people like having a billion tokens.
Only because I'm holding a shit ton of
Exactly.
Seems stupid to me, but
waiting
seems like an accounting nightmare. But no, maybe it's Peppy Coin that has the
yeah, yes, both of them.
Doesn't matter. But ultimately, people punting on that, it's entertainment. I mean, it's literally entertainment, and there's no economic value. Now people say, "What?" But Doge is going to be the base layer of X. Twitter. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter. Never gonna call it X. Here's the crazy thing. I don't know if you read the story, but like, this guy has wanted to have X as his company for 25 years, right? He bought the name for like $1 million from somebody. And then he did, focus groups to try to get PayPal to rebrand as X. And the focus groups all said the same thing that my wife said. My wife said this. She says, it sounds like an X. It sounds like a porn company. Why would I trust them? If you're trying to become a global financial services brand, trust is pretty important. So having a name that people immediately don't trust is just stupid. Yet he still did it. I'm like, who does stuff? Like, if you told me that you didn't like my pink shirt, like I wear pink every Wednesday, you and I color coordinated. No, we really didn't. But, I wear pink every Wednesday. If someone said, hey, Mark, are you in pink? I'm still going to wear pink for brain tumor awareness, but at least I wouldn't wear it every day because I would take that knowledge and, people would be honest with me. But this guy just doesn't listen to that. And I don't know, seems weird. But altcoin activity, if it's a coin where there's a project and there's a process and there's a team and there's development, I love it, right? That's what entrepreneurship's all about. That's what venture capital is all about. but geez, the gaming, gambling aspect, day trading, pump and dumping, I don't like that. It's why I struggle with Solana, right? I mean, Solana, we were early investors. We made a ton of money, thank you to Kyle. But then when I find out that most of the ramp was pumping and scam coins with Sam, I don't want to own it anymore, right? And that's a shame, because I think there could be something real there, right? We just had a big announcement this week, right? So I don't know.
So Visa did just integrate Solana along with Ethereum, which they already had, into their payment structure. They like it. Does that give you a newfound like?
Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to put that poll in the chat because F this one. Hold on, let's see. Who said Pepe? Who said Pepe was better than Chiba? I mean, honestly, I don't care either way. They all suck. They're all shit coins, and I can't wait to dump either one of them. But let me see. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. I want to know if you guys think Solana is going to be bullish with the Visa news, or just in general, if it's going to rise upwards to its all-time high. Let me get this situated.
Here's the thing. I think it's ironic that the thing that was dubbed the Visa of the digital asset ecosystem by Bank of America a few years ago is now being brought inside, right? So it's like, we can't beat them, join them. So Visa's like, well, we don't want to be displaced, so let's go get this technology and bring it in, and then maybe we can figure out how to shut it down and turn it off. Like, how big companies have worked for years, right? You got a competitive threat, you buy the company, you shelve the technology, and you keep putting mediocre technology out there. Basically, that's how gasoline engines, dominated for 100 years. In 1903, the biggest car company in America was the American Electric Vehicle Corp. Not lying, right? We had electric vehicles in 1903 that went 46 miles. And then Henry Ford bought the technology and shelved it. And so we drove gas cars for 100 years. But I struggle with two things. My understanding, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a computer scientist, I'm a financial services guy, I'm an investor. But as I understand it from people who are those things, computer scientists and engineers, Solana struggles with accuracy, right? And look, if you're rendering an NFT or gaming and you got a little glitch, it's okay. 99.99% is fine. But if you're doing accounting, 99.99 is not good, right? It has to be 100. Has to be 100%. And you can't have the network go down, and you can't have transactions get lost. So all those things happened with Solana, and that's why it was kind of heading down this kind of NFT gaming platform. So now to have it suddenly be part of this global financial transaction settlement layer, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe my information is wrong. Maybe it's not 99.99% accurate. Maybe it's 100%, and they fixed the problem. But I still think there's too few validator nodes to be resilient. I still think that while the theoretical maximum of transactions per second is super high, the actual transactions per second isn't all that different from Visa's, again, as I understand it. But so to me, what this is a bigger indication of is stablecoins. Stablecoins are superior technology, right, to ACH and Fedwire. Right?
Why do you think PayPal's going for a PYUSD stablecoin? He's not wrong.
The fact that the bank is closed more hours than it's open, and that I can't take my money and send it to you if I want to on a Sunday, is silly. But if I want to send you USDC, it's instantaneous, real-time settlement. So that trend, and whether it's USDC on Ethereum, which clearly is dominant, or USDC on Solana, as I understand it, that's pretty interesting. And so to me, it's more about the USDC than it is the network. But it's causing me, honestly, it's caused me a little bit of stress on I think we talked about this once or twice before, the mental model that I kind of use to try to figure out where to invest next is the internet model of, we got TCP/IP at the base layer, then FTP, then HTTP, and then SMTP, and then www. That stack, perfect. Like, all right, well, what's the base layer? Bitcoin, probably base layer. Filecoin like FTP, move files with it. Okay, good. Well, what's Ethereum? It's kind of like the www. It's kind of like a platform. You can build on it. Or maybe it's more like HTTPS. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those two. Well, what's SMTP? What's the email aggregator of Web3? I don't really know. Is it Polkadot? Is it Cosmos? Is it Avalanche? Is it Solana? I don't know. So, but I can kind of get around a stack. And someday there'll be 5 protocols, not 150 or whatever. But then there's the maxis who are like, nope, one chain to rule all chains. It's just going to be like the Lord of the Rings and just Bitcoin. And then we're going to have Lightning or have L3 and L4 and whatever else. That's kind of what we have now, right? We got gold at the base. We got Fedwire, ACH, and Visa. That is the money layer. It's not the internet layer, but it's the money layer. Okay, that works. But it's probably not going to be that because we already have multiple L1s. And so to have Ethereum and Solana competing to host USDC, well, then how do I get it across one to the other? Oh, I got to use a bridge. This is where it all blows up for me. If I have all these L1s and have these bridges, we've seen over and over, those bridges are subject to attack. Mm-hmm. They're vulnerable to loss and hack. That's a bad system. So if I'm Visa, why wouldn't I just pick one, right? And say, this is my rail. My old rail is not good. I need to upgrade. I need to put high-speed rails in. In a way, it's kind of like, literally like railroads. We were first. Europe was first, then us, and then China played catch up. But China didn't lay old-fashioned track. They put high-speed rail, and so they have a better rail system than the rest of the world. And we're still, to this day, I don't think we have one legit high-speed rail in the United States, which is crazy. I go to Europe, they got plenty. But in fact, I made this mistake. I was in Europe for vacation earlier this summer and took this high-speed rail. It was glorious. We had food, and it could work. And so I said, I'll take the train in from Chicago, from the airport. And I'll do some calls on the way. You get on the L, you can't make a phone call. It's too loud. I mean, you literally can't talk on the phone.
Zero chance.
So that's a long way of saying, I think Solana claims it's faster, which I think is a true claim, right? I think that's provable. I say they're cheaper, clearly provable. I mean, gas fees on Ethereum are still crazy. But I'm struggling with the accuracy and the latency and the, and again, that if they solve that somehow and I'm just not aware, people, write and tell me, but I just don't think that's the case. So I'm struggling with, why would you go with a chain that has the likelihood that transactions could vaporize? That's just not acceptable, right? If I send you money, I need to know it gets there. Like when I use my Visa card, well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's okay. I'm thinking in real time. Maybe it is okay because in Visa, it happens where your number gets compromised, there's a fraudulent transaction, and they just have an insurance pool that makes it right. So they back it out. So that's kind of like a failed transaction. Somebody used your road improperly. So in the event that they had a transaction go bad because there's this little, pixel up in the right corner that doesn't work, maybe they can backfill it with, insurance. That could work.
In our final 10, 12 minutes, I want to pivot to more big picture stuff, but just final question regarding crypto. In
our final 10, 12 minutes.
average retail investor going into Q4, what's a bit of advice you would have for a crypto investor?
Couple things. One, just discipline. Just keep accumulating ownership of the most important networks the world has ever seen, right?
Discipline's probably one of the most important. That is the most important thing when it comes to crypto, because it's so hard to just wait. It really is. It's so hard to wait. Most people just panic and sell, and that's why most people lose. So if you can discipline yourself, that's definitely number one.
So
for sure.
To me, it's easy. Bitcoin's number one, Ethereum's number two. And then there's a handful of other networks that are, vying out to be provable parts of the ecosystem. The vast majority of the trading tokens, knock yourself out, right? Have fun.
But real quick, so the discipline thing goes both ways. Like, you have to be disciplined enough to know when to sell too, and not just to live on hopium that is going to continue to rise, because I'm pretty sure we all got stuck there last bull run. We need to change things this bull run. So I'll be absolutely letting you guys know when I sell personally. That's just, we have to figure it out this time around. We can't just ride it up and then ride it back down. It's not gonna, we're not gonna benefit that way.
But have a certain amount of, like going to Vegas, right? Here's how much I'm willing to lose. You're probably going to lose it all. Occasionally you might make some. That's fine.
You got to have a final number in your brain.
Consistently acquire ownership in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the guys at the guys and gals at the top. Now, so that's discipline. Just buy some this week, buy some next week, buy some the week after, the next month, and accumulate an ownership position. Don't do it all at once. I would also, and part of that is patience, right? Is don't do it all at once. average in over time and accumulate a position the same way you would with your 401k. Like every 2 weeks, your money goes in your 401k. You set it on autopilot, goes in the index. You don't look at it for 50 years. Good. Same thing for a portion of your, running money for digital assets. And the simple advice for all investors is 3 buckets. You got your liquidity bucket to fund your lifestyle. That has to be in cash or bonds or things that you can get to right away, or credit card that you spend 5 to 15% of your wealth to fund your lifestyle. Okay, good. Then you got the 10 to 15%, the get rich bucket. And I always say that's to do the friend's condo deal, the brother-in-law's, venture deal, the hot stock tip you got. You're going to lose it all, so keep it small. Most people are going to lose all of that because most people are just bad at trading, but it's fun, right? We all want to speculate. We all want to gamble. Knock yourself out. 10 to 15%. Don't make it a big piece. And occasionally some people will make some money there. And look, all great wealth, all of it, every single last dollar of it came from concentrated positions, not from diversification. All great wealth, concentrated stock ownership, business ownership, real estate, and some luck. And that's fine. So maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't, but 10 to 15. That 70 to 80% in the middle, that's your stay rich bucket. And that gets filled up by your get rich bucket, and then it gets drained by your liquidity bucket. So that bucket needs to be stable. It needs to be broadly diversified. It needs to have the endowment model kind of investment. It's got to have stocks, it's got to have some bonds, it's got to have some private. Now, if you're young, you shouldn't have a lot of bonds, but it's got to have stocks and equity and real estate and commodities and venture capital and some digital assets, broad diversification, keep accumulating, and drop some money into it every 2 weeks. So that's the singular advice. And as we come into this what I believe is going to be a positive halving for digital assets, the stuff you accumulate between now and the halving will probably serve you well.
Mark, I get some of the best perspective when you come on the channel. I definitely want to have you back on in a few months, get your updated take.
Awesome.
Where can my audience find you?
So easiest way is Twitter at Mark Yusko, MarkYusko. We have a website, morgancreekcap.com. I'm all over Twitter in terms of doing stuff like this. So if you just Google me, you'll find some interesting stuff. But really appreciate the chance to come on and talk with y'all. The thing I love best about my job is I get to talk to smart young people, and you and your brother are just that. So I appreciate what you do for the community, and thanks for having me on the show.
Huge shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. That was a really good interview, actually. Like I said, I value that guy Mark's opinion because he does remind me of Dad, Mr. Max Voltage. He knows things that wise older people know. No, I honestly do value his opinion. But all right, do you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about? Man, I'm like excited that everything's going up today. This is nice. It's nice to see things actually in the green for a change, even though it's not much, but like it's more than 1%. You know what I mean? Caspa's actually surprised me a bit today. Not gonna lie, 4 cents. That's pretty exciting. What's Caspa's all-time high actually? Let me see. What's Dynex at? We gotta look at that too. As Dynex, I want to man, someone was saying Trade Ogre won't let you get your Caspa out though. Who was saying that earlier? Was it Nerdbeast? Let's see. Mining King, investment advice question mark. Gonna need to wear a suit soon and be a real reporter. Maybe someday. Actually, you guys, I'm gonna be posting a new style video. It's actually going to be pretty much exactly like Altcoin Dailies for the most part. But it's obviously with my spin, me talking and stuff, but I'm not showing any camera or anything. It's just, it's messed up. I buy this friggin' expensive camera and I'm not even gonna use it. But no, honestly, I might tweak it a little bit, but I did ask my VIPs last night, so I threw it in the VIP chat. Let me know what you guys think about it. And I just gotta like work out the thumbnail and stuff. I'm not really happy with that. And then I don't know if I'm gonna re-upload it or what, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, Caspa real quick. So Caspa's all-time high was 5 cents. Wow, I didn't realize it got 5 cents. 5-1. Wow, I didn't know that. Neat. Well, I mean, it's honestly, it's so close. So close to its all-time high. Man, where do you guys think Caspa's gonna run to? Where do you think that'll get to? Let's check out Dynex. You guys even see the screen? I hope you can. Let's see, you really can't actually. All right, blow it up so you can see it. 65 cents. Damn, Dynex took a shit, huh? What was the all-time high? 120, 130. It says over here in CoinGecko. Jeez, that's crazy. It's down 50% right now. 50% even from its all-time high. Let's see, 97 cents. Are you talking about Caspa or Dynex? I assume Caspa. 685. Man, you guys are getting like exact numbers. That's crazy. CCXD, correct. You can't send out Caspa, you deposit, but you can send out Caspa, you swap from BTC to Caspa. Wait, what? Wait, what? You can't send out Caspa that you send in, but you can wait, you can swap Bitcoin into Caspa and then you can send it out, but you can't send Caspa to the site and then take it out again. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what's happening right now? What? That makes no sense. Trade Ogre is doing some sketchy ass shit. I'm gonna be shocked if they're around much longer, to be honest. What is it? Trade Ogre, let's see. Verify I'm a human. Is it really like that? Am I stoned? Maybe. Are you, Chris Hanley? I don't know. Are you? This is crazy. Mr. Rud Puts, thanks for the 249 euro. Caspa's going to the moon. Sweet.
Caspa is going to the moon, bit swag.
Rud Puts, you make my day every morning. I love it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, buddy. You don't have to donate though. I appreciate you. This is all right. So Trade Ogre, really? So Trade Ogre's messed up, right? Have you guys tried to oh shit. Have you guys tried to trade here? Actually, have you tried to trade here? What's up, little buddy? Sorry, my son came down to visit. He came down to visit. Come here. Just looking at me like, can I come over there? A little Spider-Man today. And we're watching Pokemon on the iPad. I don't know what the hell he's doing. What's up, buddy? All right, so anybody trade here, actually? So this is like the most confusing site to trade, to be honest, I think, anyways. If you have whatever, I don't even know how this works. It's weird as hell. Like, if you just look at the price, it's like Caspa to Bitcoin, and then it's all this friggin' price BTC. It's all Satoshi shit, right? So it's like, it's hard to like tell what you're actually selling the price of Caspa at. Let's see. Trade Ogre, okay, just basic. I use it for RXD, CCXD. Yes, Trade Ogre has different asset buckets. They are working on fixing it, I hope. But yes, Caspa you send, you can't send out. What about Dynex? It's the same way. I'm gonna be freaking pissed if I can't get my Dynex out if this place closes down on me. Because I threw most of my Dynex, actually all of my Dynex, into Trade Ogre because I'm just like, I don't care. Like, if I lose it, it is what it is. It's like a couple $100, not a big deal. But like, yeah, I just put it in like a ridiculous buy order. Like, I scrolled all the way down in this shit and hit this button. And then I was like, okay, I'll sell it. I'll sell it all if it hits down here. Like, I took the highest number. I was like, I don't even know how to do this, so I'm just gonna sell it all like that. Little man's taking over. Yeah, he's crazy. He'll start hitting buttons and stuff. He's nuts. A bedhead. Gotta get my hair cut today. Kid's addicted to the iPad. Look at this, like breaking your neck, bro. Anyways, all right, let's see. You guys got any questions before we get out of here? I have to go back to daddy duty. The wife had to go to work and an early appointment this morning, which is the reason I was running late and trying to take care of everything. Why would you even want to sell Dynex? To be honest, so we saw the wick to $1.20, right? Once it was at, like, it went to $1.20 and dropped back down to like 50 cents, right? You got to take profits at some point. So I put it in there to sell it if it goes back up over $1, because why not? Why wouldn't I sell it at that point? You know what I mean? Because I could just mine more of it. It's not like I can't get more. I could just return on my rigs and go after it, you know? I think only Caspa has that issue. Okay. Don't go out and play outside anymore. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Yeah, bro, this is what they watch. This shit. Look at this. It's like other people playing with toys. What the fuck? I don't understand it. Let's look at him. He's happy as a pig in shit. He loves it. I don't understand. It's the weirdest thing. It's like grown-ass adults playing with kids' toys, and these kids watch it. I don't understand. I change it, though, after a little bit. I pay for, like, apps that actually teach them shit. Because, like, I don't know. It's absurd, though. It really is absurd how much these kids, like, know about tablets and stuff at their age. You can mine it, but every day you get less and less. Yeah, it's true, too. ABC Mouse. You know what? I don't have that one. I have Homer. and Lingo Kids. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those two, but Homer and Lingo Kids are actually pretty good. Let's see. If you made a video playing with kids' toys, I'd never stop laughing. Bro, it like, look at this. The guy walks around with like this thing. And then he just like puts balls in the top and he like hits them down into the ship. He watches like the same ones like 1,000 times. I'm not even kidding. It's absurd. Absurd. And yeah, Baby Shark. I hear that like a million times a week too. And he's obsessed with Mario. Look, he's got dad in his hands, King. You see that? That's what I thought. See? King always makes fun of me because I'm a plumber by trade. He always calls me Mario. And now my son's obsessed with the Mario movie, and he sleeps with these. I'll wake up, this one's like in my ass. I'm just kidding, but like it's in my back for real. I'm like, what the hell is in my back? I'm like digging it out. He climbed in my bed and this shit's like in my bed now. Oh my god, he sleeps with hard toys. It's absurd. Anyways, all right. I love you all. You guys are awesome. Hopefully you guys have a great day. I'm gonna be posting that video at some point later today. Yeah, I just gotta get the thumbnail and stuff situated. So I really do want to get your guys' opinion and let me know what you think about it. It's just kind of an overall like why Bitcoin's pretty much gonna explode along with AI and everything else. Need a Mario plushie. Mining King. Maybe someday. You know what? It's a good idea. I'll do it. We'll take it. All right, guys. Love you all. Have a good day. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Peace.